Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Here's the front page of the channel. The bottom arrow is pointing at the subscribe button that's normally red until you click on it, and this one turns white after you subscribe. The top arrow is pointing to the bell. Now, the bell doesn't show up until after you click the subscribe button, and then the bell will show up, and that way you can be notified of new uploads. Our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians. Check out our other videos and playlists. Republic of Texas RT documentary. Texas and other American states is under a military occupation. The Republic of Texas Forum of 2016. And describe the kind of people who would thrive in independent Texas. And so check them out.
Okay, Carrie, unmute yourself.
What's that?
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Okay. Anyone want to ask a question?
Yeah, well, before we get started, tonight we're going to talk about something other than jurisdiction.
Are you going to talk about something besides jurisdiction?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Anybody got a question or a story you want to tell us?
Terry, this is Jim of Louisiana.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, you'd mentioned in several calls about state income tax. You said that it can't be paid with Federal Reserve notes or money. Can you give me a reference as to where I could find that?
Okay, now, I didn't say that. The law said that. So are you in front of a computer?
Yes.
Okay, type in Title 31. That's the Treasury. So Title 31, Section 3124. And if you would, read that to us. While he's looking that up, does anybody else have a question? Then we'll come right back to him.
I got a question. This in Colorado.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey. So I got my court order, and I filled in Form 12277 and sent it to the Lien Release Department, and it came back denied because it was not in the best interest of the government. So, yeah.
So let me explain to you what they said, okay?
Yes.
You have a court order, and an agent told you denied. So, let me explain to you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not giving you legal advice.
No.
Okay, would you tell me? Would you say that to me though?
Would I say that you're giving me legal advice?
No, sir. I'm not giving you legal advice.
No.
I just want you to repeat it so that you.
You are.
What was that? Well, he fell off the grid, so I don't know what to tell you.
Carrie, I'm at that section, 31.
Okay.
Section
Title 3124. Would you read that to us?
All right. It says, A, stocks and obligations of the United States government are exempt from taxation.
Stop. Stocks and obligations of the federal government are exempt from taxation. Now, go ahead.
By a state or political subdivision of a state. The exemption applies to each form of taxation that would require the obligation, the interest on the obligation, or both, to be considered in computing a tax, except number
Don't worry about
one.
that. Don't worry about that. That's confusing. If you're in a regulated field, in other words, if you're in a regulated field, you have to pay it. So stocks and obligations of the federal government are exempt from taxation by a state or a political subdivision of a state. That exemption refers to every kind of tax. If you have to use the obligation to figure the tax, the interest on the tax. Now, if you would you go to Title 18, which is Crimes and Criminal Procedure. This is felonies, Section 8, and it defines what cannot be used.
Hey, Kerry, your voice sounds far away. If you could maybe speak closer to the microphone, thank you.
Okay, is that better?
I think so.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm at Section 18, Section 8.
Would you read that to us?
Okay. The term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, and Federal Reserve bank notes, coupons, United States notes, Treasury notes, gold certificates, silver certificates, fractional notes, certificates of deposit bills, checks or drafts for money drawn by or upon authorized officers of the United States, stamps and other representatives of value, or whatever denomination issued under any act of Congress and canceled United States stamps.
Okay, now, when you question them, they're going to say a check. The check's covered. So any one of those that you just read cannot be used to figure the tax or anything. There's your law that says you can't. The guy that asked that question, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I'm doing, again, I'm not giving you legal advice, but what I'm doing is would somebody who has a Black's Law dictionary look up the word form, F-O-R-M. That way I can kind of explain this to you. That will really, it should really turn the light bulb on for you. Now, what I do is I made up a form. I got my own form. And what I do is I send it to the taxing authority, whether it's income tax or property tax. And on there, I ask them a couple of questions, or however many I need to ask. One, I would ask if they had jurisdiction, yes, no. If yes, where did you get it? If no, well, then it would be over, see? Or I would also say, in the box listed school tax, does the figure 1,212.25 represent? And I would list each one of those separate. And then I would say, if you decide not to answer, then you agree that the foregoing tax is paid in full. Now, did somebody look up the word form?
I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
Can I listen to this definition? Go ahead.
What is a form? A model or skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding containing the principal necessary matters, the proper technical terms or phrases, and whatever else is necessary to make it formally correct, arranged in proper or methodological order. Methodical order and capable of being adapted to the circumstances of the specific case.
Now, did you see what it says? The word form is not something you fill out. It's a model or a skeleton to be used in a court of law. Now, I made my own form up. Now, I can use that form in a court of law. I ask the question. If they don't answer it, I let them know if you don't answer it, then I'm going to invoke the doctrine of silence. The guy that just looked that up in Black's Law, would you look up the word silence? And then this is on my form. So the form that I have, it looks like a 1040, but it's got different things. I call it a 1020. It's a 1020 form. And then the IRS gives you a 1040 form and then an instruction booklet. I do the same thing. I call it a cover letter, but it's the instruction booklet. In the instructions or the cover letter, I tell them what I'm doing. The reason this form is coming to you is because I'm not an attorney. I can't make legal determinations. I brought up a couple of technical terms that needs to be defined. Please fill out the form, return it to me in the self-addressed stamped envelope that's in the envelope. See? Answer the question so I can immediately pay whatever you ask. I'm ready, willing, and able to have you in your hand within 48 hours, certified funds of the specie you asked for. Now,
hey, Gary, I've got silence.
Yeah. Okay, would you read that? It's actually in there. It's go ahead and read it, if you will. Just go ahead and read it.
It says the state of a person who does not speak or of one who refrains from speaking. In the law of estoppel, silence implies knowledge and an opportunity to act upon it. That's Pence versus Langdon, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Now keep going. That's not all of it.
Well, it is in this particular one.
Okay. It also says by your silence, it implies fraud or honest dealings.
Dishonest dealings.
Okay, that's what I put in my cover letter, and I put it on my form. If you refuse to say this, you are choosing the doctrine of silence. See, what I do is, how do you eat an elephant? Do you know?
One bite at a time.
Okay, there's another bite of the apple. What I'm doing is I'm giving them one bite at a time. If I have to go to court, they could not win. And the reason they can't win, I've given them every opportunity to collect what they're asking to collect. I'm not an attorney, so I cannot make a legal determination. That goes in my instruction booklet. Then I have my form, and I remind them, I'm not an attorney. Please answer the question so I can pay this. See, the problem is with Federal Reserve notes, you can only discharge. But they don't say discharge; they say pay. Yeah. So they're talking about money. See, money, it's defined as not Federal Reserve notes. See, the problem is we don't get our arms around it properly. So I have a form that I made out that uses the law. If they refuse to answer it, then I do a fault with the right to cure. Then I send the 1040 again with another cover letter saying, I know you're busy. You're now in fault. If you refuse to do this one, you have agreed that under the doctrine of silence, you're dealing in fraud, or you're going to accept my default as payment. Then I send it back. When they don't answer that, I do a default. I take the default to the county, and I have it recorded. I file it if I can, but they don't file them all the time, so I take it to records. Records is where if you had a thoroughbred horse or a what do you call it, a thoroughbred dog, a marriage license, it's records. You just go up there and get it recorded. They'll put a stamp on it. That's all you need. Then now you have it, and then I do a cover letter saying, because I'm not an attorney, I don't understand it, and you admitted to the following. You admitted dealing in unfaithful dealings, bad dealings, and fraud. This, because you didn't answer my questions, this default is now payment for the alleged, whatever it is, property tax, income tax that you said I owed, and then I mail it in. Then what I do is
where do you mail it?
Well, you'd mail it to the people that send it to you. It would be the property tax in
So the treasurer?
Well, no, it's going to, in Texas, it's the county tax collector for property tax. We don't have an income tax here, so I don't have to deal with that. So what I would do is I would send it to Harris County tax collector assessor in downtown Houston. He's got an office. You can go online and put in Harris County tax assessor collector. It gives you his name, his address, shows you a picture of him, and he says how wonderful I am and blah, blah, blah. That's who you send it to. See, that's who you send it to, because he has to know. He's asking you to pay something. He has to know what it is. The problem is what he's asking you to pay has to be voluntary, because what he's asking you to pay, you just read it, or you just heard it being read. It says you cannot use Federal Reserve notes to pay a tax. So if that's what they're asking for, that's the reason they won't answer it. So I force the issue. See?
Yeah, Kerry, I've got some experience with it. I've got a property in Arizona, Pennsylvania, and my dealing with my dad's estate in Michigan. So I've got 5 lawyers going right now, since Pennsylvania is split into 3 different pieces.
Right.
And none of them will answer your 1020 form.
That's correct.
They won't answer. That's actually good news, because what they're doing is. I'm sorry?
No, that's right. That's good news. Yes, it is.
It's good news. And then the question I had was, I'm in default on a couple of them right now, and I was just wondering what to do. And I think you pretty much explained it tonight. Just get the defaults recorded, stamped, and on file, and then mail it to the whoever's the collector for the tax. In Chester County, Pennsylvania, it's the treasurer is the one of the collectors.
Right. Each state may be slightly different, but when you do a cover letter saying, you are now in default. With this default, this is what you have admitted. See, what I do on every one is I tell them, if you don't answer it, this is what you're admitting to. You're admitting to you're bald-headed, got big eyes, whatever. In other words, I'm going to tell them what they're admitting to. See? Because what I'm trying to do is, if I have to go to court, I'm going to build this one piece at a time. See, a form is a model or a skeleton you can use in court. The reason the IRS is so powerful in what they do, because the 1040 is laid out. It's a model or a skeleton laid out in a particular way with the methodical wording that they can take you to court on your own testimony. Same thing here. See, if they don't do it, I'd make them. In other words, if they don't fill it out, this is what's going to happen. Then what I'm going to recommend, after you default them, you send the default to them. What I put in my default on my letter, I say, also I put in there is this. Consider this. I'm sorry, let me slow down. If you don't answer me, consider this your notice to sue. Now I've got my notice covered, got my form. I have a path right to the courthouse. Then when I file my lawsuit is not about the tax and how much my house is worth, how much my property is worth, how much is overinflated, how much is underinflated. It's for one reason. I'm trying to pay it. I'm not an attorney. They refuse to tell me, and silence implies fraud. I will not be frauded, and that's what I go to the state district court with. Some places it's called a state circuit court. See, that's a higher court than the county. So I sue the county tax assessor in state district court on the grounds he won't tell me how to pay it, and if I don't pay it, he's going to take my property. So there's a threat. I am threatened. See, I'm being threatened. Do what I tell you to do, or I'm going to take something from you. Now, the guy that read that definition, are you still on here?
Yeah.
Okay. You owe me $1,000 for telling you that, okay? I expect it in the next 4 days.
Yeah, I know the answer to that. 1,000 what?
Okay, if you don't send me what I want, I'm going to take your house. See how ridiculous that is?
It is.
Okay, here now. Let me tell you something. You want 1,000? Yeah, be glad to. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 3,000. What will you take? I'll give it to you.
Give them grains of rice.
There it is. See, now I always add the word specie. The guy that's been looking this up, would you look up specie? SPECIE. Now,
yep.
Okay, now I add that in there because it clarifies what I'm asking. So when you get that looked up, if you don't mind, let's look at this. All this is jurisdictional, see? In other words, do you have jurisdiction to charge me? If you do, I believe you. Then if you have jurisdiction, then tell me what it is you'll take. See?
Yeah. Here's species.
Okay.
In civil law, it's form, figure, fashion, or shape. A form or shape given to materials, a particular thing as distinguished from genus, Genus, or Genus, I'm sorry. Genus.
Okay, so see, the species is what type. In other words, if you're not married and you get married, what species are you going to marry? An elephant? A giraffe? A Klingon? No, the species you're going to marry is probably a human being. See, I have the right to know that. And see, if you have to, then tell them that. Then what I do with mine is I put a glossary page with it. That way they understand everything that I have in that letter is I put a glossary page with it so that when they read it and it says Federal Reserve notes, not money. See, in other words, it's already there. I've given them everything that they need, and that now it's all up to them. See, if you live in a state where you can beat your wife, can you beat the next door neighbor's wife? See? Well, no. Why? You don't have jurisdiction next door. See? In other words, it doesn't matter what you use. Jurisdiction falls in everywhere. I'm not suggesting anybody beat their wife. That's not the point. I'm just trying to use it to give you something to think about. See? Now, all I'm trying to do is I never tell them anything. The guy that looked up that stuff on Black's Law Dictionary, are you still on here?
Yes.
What state are you in right now? What state are you in?
You mean state of the country?
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, in Pennsylvania, I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to see and just answer it. I'm going to show you how they get us. Do they wear blue jeans in Pennsylvania?
Some people do.
Okay, now that you answered me, what are blue jeans? How do you know they wear them? Tell me what they are.
They're a denim type of pants.
No, sir. Whoa, that's denim. I didn't say blue denim. I said blue jeans. See what you did? By you answering it, you backed yourself into the corner. It may include denim, but denim is a type. That's a species. Now, if you have a blue pinstripe suit, you can get the jeans hemmed or shortened or lengthened or whatever. Jeans are pants. Blue is a color. See, you automatically thought it was denim. See, that's what they're doing to us. When they send us our property tax bill, we automatically say, oh, they're asking for this. I don't know if they are. Now, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think one thing you helped me with tonight when you said when you go to court or when you write this, one of the things one of the lawyers did, I'll see if I can find it real quick. He said, wait a minute, inbox. I just got this tonight. He says, none of this will be recognized by the courts and sheriff, the two of which have police power. You are not entitled to special execution of weird forms, including what you call a 1020. Please pay like everyone else or suffer the consequences like everyone else. Ottawa County believes in such due process and won't make an exception for you.
That's perfect. Now what you do is say, like everyone else. I talked to my grandson and he never pays anything. Thank you.
That's a good point.
See, what I'm trying to tell you is they're going to give you the answer. See, what they're trying to do is then you tell the attorney. Since you're an attorney, you can make a legal determination. Tell me what they're charging and tell me the species that they're asking for. Because you're an attorney and you can make a legal determination. If you choose not to, I'll add you to the lawsuit. See, the problem is they're threatening you. Now, I want you to listen to my story. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to shoot you with a .45 caliber pistol or a 9mm. What do you want me to shoot you with?
An unloaded gun.
See? I did. There you go. See? In other words, that's what he's saying. You pay like everybody else. Okay, I'll pay like everybody else. My father just died. He ain't paying. What are you saying? Superman don't pay. Billy Graham don't pay. See? You can't. So what you do is you tell them, say, well, all attorneys are ignorant. They're so ignorant, they don't know the law. They use rules. See, you can use what he has to do a cover letter and say the 1020 has nothing to do with the tax. It has to do with the species. I'm giving you one more chance. If you don't tell me, I will send you as a non-attorney what I think it is. And then add Title 31, Section 3124, and Title 18.8. And here's why you do that. You're in the position to do that. He's going to come back and say, well, that doesn't pertain to taxes. Then you can sue him for being incompetent because it says right on there. Title 31, Section 3124 says you cannot pay taxes of any kind in a state or political subdivision of the state. He's going to come back and say, that's not what it says. Thank you, my friend. See?
Okay, that's been helpful. Appreciate it.
See, I don't tell them anything. I ask them. Just like I asked you, do you wear blue jeans in Pennsylvania? You said, well, some do. I said, well, then what are they? See, you automatically fell, well, they're denim. That's not what I asked you. Denim is a style or a type of blue jeans. See?
Yep, good point. I fell for it.
What we have to do is we have to get them in a position where you back them into the wall. Don't be afraid. Okay, so let him say a couple more things so that when you take him to court, when you sue the county, that they can subpoena him in and say, all I'm asking for, look, I'm ready, willing, and able to pay. I want to pay. I'm begging you to let me pay. Please let me pay. Will you take money? If he says, in fact, I went and told the guy that argued with me, I said, will you take currency? He said yes. So I went down and bought pesos because at the time they were 1,600 to 1. I sent them 4,000 pesos. Cost me just under $3. Wait a minute. Is a peso currency? Yes. It's not U.S. currency. The problem is when they said U.S. currency, I went to the bank, wrote a check for $100. They gave me a Federal Reserve note. That's on the list. U.S. currency is the bank said it was Federal Reserve notes. Federal Reserve notes, just check the box, sir, and sign under penalties of perjury. That's the problem. See, what they're doing is they're dancing with you. I don't dance very well. See?
Yeah, I know they're dancing. They're being very vague and evasive, and they don't address the species. They keep saying the tax is verified, it's certified, you have to pay it, and all kinds of things like that.
Right. Then go back and say, I agree with you. I'm telling you, I'm ready, willing, and able. I want to pay. I'm ready to pay. Please let me pay. I'm begging you. In fact, you say I owe $20,000, I'll pay $40,000. Check the box. Because when you get to court, he can never see. What you can't say is, well, the house is you priced the house too high. You priced the value of the property too much. See, because that's not what they're doing. They're using the subsidy. Okay, so let me ask you a question: is Federal Reserve notes illegal to pay taxes in the state with?
Are they illegal?
Yes.
Yeah, according to 31 U.S.C. 3124, they are.
Okay, then let me ask you a question: is cocaine, a brick of cocaine, illegal to pay property taxes with?
I would think so.
Okay, so cocaine to property taxes is the same thing as Federal Reserve notes to property taxes. So they're asking you to bring in a brick of cocaine, and you can't do that. See, when you start to draw the conclusion, then you ask them, would you take cocaine? No, it's illegal. Why? Because the state says it's illegal. Well, the feds say so is Federal Reserve notes. They're going to argue with you that that's not what it means. Thank you. Then take them to court. Let the judge tell you. He said it doesn't say what it says. See, I'm not an attorney. I can't make a legal determination. Since I'm not an attorney and can't make a legal determination, I'm going to make them or let them do it. That's their job.
Yeah, you've given me a good lead on this, his use of the word everyone else or suffer the consequences. They're essentially threatening force of arms to get me to pay, and they're not telling me what the species is.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. Since I've helped you so much, I want you to send me 35.
I know, 35 what?
See? Well, I'm not going to tell you, but you're going to do like everybody else does, and if you don't, you're going to suffer the consequences.
Right.
What? See? That's what he did. He threatened you. And I would have that. Here's what you said. You threatened me. I'm not an attorney. So because I'm not an attorney, you can threaten me. I mean, I have attorneys here that when I write them letters, they won't even do it. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing. Again, I'm not giving legal advice. We have the Texas Bar Association. Every time I write a letter to them and they refuse to answer me, I file a complaint in the Texas Bar against that attorney. Then they got to go and research and they can send it back. We found no wrongdoing. Good. Now I got another person. When I go to court, I can bring them in and say, how can, see? In other words, I'm doing this one bite at a time.
Are you, when you file a grievance, is it a bar grievance?
I don't know. Call them on the phone and ask them. They'll give you the form. They'll give you the form. I don't know how you do it in your state. I know how to do it here because I've done it so many times. See? Go on there and ask them. I need to file a complaint on an attorney. Well, go to our website and download form 1234BCD, and then you download it, and there it is. You put his name. You call. You know what I did was I was in the battle with somebody with a law firm. I went to the law firm and said, the guy that's fighting with me, he has on the wall he has his diploma. I took a picture of it, and on the diploma it says, with this diploma, you are eligible to be licensed. I had it, and I printed it out. I had that in my packet. So the judge got really kind of testy with me and says, do you have a license to practice law? I said, I'm so glad you asked. I have the same license the attorney has. In fact, it was signed the same day by the same guy. See? So the question is, if the attorney doesn't have a license and I don't have a license, don't we both have the same license? See?
Good point.
See? I mean, what I'm saying to you is the arguments that I'm trying to bring forth to them, they're so how do I say it? They're so far offside the rim that they don't even get it. These attorneys are saying, what are you trying to say? I'm trying to say that you're an attorney and I'm not. I'm not obligated to make a legal determination. All I want you to do is put on a piece of paper, sign it, that I can make a legal determination and I'll make it. Well, they're not going to do that. So I'm stuck in there was a movie I watched and it said, you're stuck between a rock and a hard case. Well, I'm a hard case and they're stuck between a rock and a hard case. See? All I'm asking for is I want to pay it, I'm willing to pay it, I will pay it. But I need somebody to tell me.
Yeah, it's a fantastic approach, and the thing I'm kind of stuck on is each of these states have, because I'm in Michigan, Arizona, and Pennsylvania now, and dealing with these things, and each court is the court systems are set up differently in each of the states.
I understand that, but you're using federal law. It's the same in all of them. But you're right. See, so you're going to have to. That's something you'll have to do on your own because I can't help you with that because I'm not from them. Now, I'm originally from Michigan, and I have family there, so I'm helping a couple of my brothers and stuff deal with this. And I'll tell you what, Michigan is more difficult than the IRS.
Is it?
Oh, God. They've all but told my sister, well, we're going to come over there and kill you.
Really?
Yeah, they said we have to have the money. I understand that. Check the box so I can send it. We're not going to do it. Well, then why? So what we're doing is we're in the court right now. We're getting ready to go to court right now on the grounds. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. I'm not an attorney, so I need help. All you have to do is tell me, because if you don't pay it, will you end up in court?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then it's see, automatically that makes it a legal problem.
I mean, he just basically, he made a threat to me in this letter saying that, police, the courts and the sheriff, and they have police power, and called the form a weird form, and they're not going to make an exception for me, so.
That's okay. I don't care if you do. I'm not asking you to. What I'm doing is I'm telling you, if you don't answer it, then you're telling me that you're full of crap. See, you're full of crap, and you don't know what it is. So will you take what I think it is? Let them tell you. No. Well, then if you don't take what I think it is, you tell me what you think it is. See, what we have to do is all voluntary. See, so what they're going to do is they're going to threaten you to where you'll give them what they want. See?
Yep. So what in Michigan, what court are you in?
What's that?
What court are you in Michigan?
I think it's a district court. It's a state district court. But see, Michigan, they're weird. They're a form state. You don't write a motion, you get a form. If you go on there and a dog bit me on the butt form, they got a dog bite me on the butt form. Well, the dog bit me on the leg, they got a form that says dog bit me on the leg. You may have to go see an attorney just to get the form number, and then you go online and you download the form. The forms are already there, or you fill in the blanks. So you got everything you file in Michigan has to be done on a form.
Well, let me ask you another question. Is it possible to, when we're dealing with this form for 1 year period, but after you go to court, is it possible to make a claim for all prior years?
Absolutely it is. Yes, because see, what's changed? This is your case, okay? It's whatever you want to do. If you want to go in there and give away 3 of your children, do it. Now's a good time to get rid of them, see? In other words, this is your case. When you do it, the form says, on the form, it's going to tell you so-and-so versus so-and-so, and you fill it in. And then it says on the heading, this is a motion to whatever it is. There's like 650 forms in Michigan, something like that. You download the form and you type it in, and then you take that form and you go down to the courthouse, call them on the phone, and they'll tell you what it is. that particular court might have a special form for that one that's different than all the other ones. It's just a weird way they got it set up, but they did it that way so that you can't do what I'm telling you to do.
Oh, okay. Thanks for your help on that.
My pleasure.
Next. Hit star 6 if you want to talk.
Yep. Well, while they're doing that, we've had about 8 people this week that have gone through the steps and actually got their Social Security reinstated. Now, what's happened is they're starting to get their full check for the first time in a long time. And how we're doing that, I'm only talking because nobody's asking any questions. But what we're doing is we're doing. Okay, go right ahead and ask it.
This is Susie from Arizona, and
okay.
I filled out my paperwork, and I sent it in, and the IRS has sent the documents back from the court saying that they had no jurisdiction. So I filled out the 12277 form. I sent that in, and it's been about probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I haven't heard anything back.
Okay, now let me tell you what I'm doing. Again, I'm not giving you legal advice, but have you heard the old saying, the squeaky wheel?
Right.
What is the squeaky wheel?
The squeaky wheel gets the one who something about the grease.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So guess what I am? I'm a squeaky wheel. What I would do is I do a 12277. Get your paperwork ready. Print 500 of them if you have to. Put them in envelopes. Get them all addressed, ready to go. Send one a week, every week, until they answer you. Because you can't do anything until they answer you. Sitting on your thumbs doesn't help. Because they're going to realize if they don't answer you, there's nothing we can do. See? Now, if you send one, you're in Arizona, so if you send one to Phoenix, send one to San Francisco, send one to Ogden, send one to Detroit, send one to Austin. In other words, until you get, they didn't do mine until I started hammering them. Now, what they did was they sent me a letter saying that they needed more time. Then I got another one the other day says we need more time. They got a 45-day, now they're asking for 90 days. And the reason they're asking for it is they don't know where to go with it. See? So once they come back to me and say, you don't qualify because 6332J, the commissioner said, there's his death wish. Because because 63, I don't remember the number now, 6332J, when you get it, 63, anyway, whatever it is, that's a statute. That's the law. He's telling you what it says. He cannot practice law without a license. So I write back to him and say, thank you very much. But send me your bar license. I need to see it because you're practicing law on me. If you're an attorney, we'll deal with it. If you're not, send me your bar license, and you have 2 options. Send me your bar license or release the liens. Now, what's happening is they're releasing the liens, but they're not just releasing them, they're expunging them. We went down there and looked at it, and they're not even in there no more. They have never existed. We have a printout of it, and on that printout, I have a file number. They went to that file number, and it's not there. Now, let me tell you something else that might help you. When you pull your notices of lien from the county, look at the back side of it. The back side of a notice of lien tells you what has to be there in order for them to give you that. Guess what? They're not there because they're scanning them in and they're emailing them, or they're copying them and sending them a copy. I have the back. I actually have the back of the notice of lien, and it says something to the effect, with this lien, blah, blah, blah. So on the back side of it, they're calling it a lien, and on the front side of it, they're calling it a notice of lien. Therein lies the issue. There's the counterfeit security. Ed has them, and I have them. Ed, did I send that to you?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So, Ed, if you want to see the back of it, but the best way to do it would be for you to call the IRS and actually get an original, because the law says on the back that you have to have an original, and an original is both sides, and it's an off color. It's a white, but it's kind of an off white. So what you have to do is you have to have the front and the back to make it a proper notice of lien. Now, if it's not, I want you to think about this. If I take one of my checks and I copy it, and I sign it, mail it to you, what do you got?
Invalid check.
Okay, that's what you have there. So we have that yet. So what I'm saying to you is there's ways that we're looking into to trying to get them to come off dead center. But just keep mailing it in. Someone will pick it up and send you a thing, and they're going to say, well, that's not what it says. What it says is this. As soon as they do that, they practice law. So now, see, I never run at them about taxes, because when I run at them about taxes, you're going to go to the jury, and if there's 12 jurors up there, you have to explain to them how, well, I'm not the regular guy. I'm a non-resident alien. See, and you're trying to tell 12 people that you're something that they don't understand, but they do understand this. That's not an original. See, they understand that. They can see it's not an original. You don't have to. The argument is much better. See, now when I was indicted, I had the attorney said he's a non-resident alien. I said, no, I'm not. I said, because I wasn't born on Uranus as an alien, and then I'm not resident here. So they tried to trap me into that argument because they could have beaten me there. See, a non-resident alien, when you tell somebody, go up to them, just go up to somebody that you maybe know a little bit and say, hey, I'm a non-resident alien. What are you? They're going to say, I'm a human. I'm an American. I'm the red, white, and blue. See, you're talking to them in something they don't understand. If you have to go to court, you have to convince 12 people of something it's foreign to them. They don't know what it is. You might get one or two, but you won't get 12. But when you say to them, look at the back of this. Here's what it says. If the front's not the same, something's wrong. I hope that made sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, I don't think that they even file the backs in my state.
No, they don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Call the IRS. Go to you can go online and order forms. Go online and order a 668. Y. I think it's a 668Y. You just would like to see it to make sure. See, and they'll send you one. They'll send you one. When you get it, turn it over. Look at the back. Tell them you want an original. And like I said, I have a copy of the back of one, and I'll be more than glad to share it with you. Then when you read it, you can see, wow, this ain't even close. See, that's why they don't do it, because even our county clerks, the geniuses they are, they could read it and see that this isn't what they're getting. See, so I don't know if that'll help you or not. And if you need to, then you can take the copy and send it in. Here it is. Here's the front. Here's the back. Something's wrong. It's not the right one. See, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff we still have to go through to get this down. But we had a lady last week that had 8 liens released for her. She got her pay. She's getting off. Go ahead.
Did she have to send it in quite a few times, or?
Yeah, she did. But this woman she's like don't grab her by the tail, because she's like a tiger. She's like a tiger, and if you grab her, she's going to drag you to death. Or if you let go of her, she's going to eat you alive. Yeah, she just does what she does. She's getting her full check now. She's getting her full paycheck. She's getting her full retirement. I mean, it's the greatest thing I've ever heard. We just we're never stop. We never stop.
I might say something on that order. It took me 3 times of going to the court and filing for my to get the lack of jurisdiction for the judge to actually say that. So anybody that's listening, don't get discouraged, because I had to do it 3 times before they finally sent me that.
Okay, and then once you get it, that's your hammer. Don't start arguing. Once you get your court order that says they don't have jurisdiction, that's your argument. Well, what are you saying? You don't have jurisdiction. Yeah, but I mean, what else? That's all I'm saying. See, now you have something from the court, from a judge that says they don't have jurisdiction. But remember, it's not the court saying it. It's the IRS saying it. The IRS actually says we didn't give him what they needed in order for us to have jurisdiction. Now, what the agents are saying was, well, that's not what it's saying. It's saying this. Not a problem. Show me your bark card. If not, I'm taking you to court. We haven't had to do it yet. We filed one time, and the next day when they were served, the next day the liens were released. And the reason they were released because it's not about taxes anymore, because it's going to be about, I'm the plaintiff. I'm going to bring forth my proof. All I got to do is make the accusation and prove it. They have to defend it. See, so
right.
My proof is here's what he said. Here's what the law says. They're doing this. That's it. See, now they've got to come to court and argue, well, that's not what we meant. Well, then return my money. See, so.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Carrie, I'd like to make a clarification.
Yeah.
In regard to the notice of federal tax lien, what I discovered is what you're talking about, the back, is actually on the taxpayer's copy. There's 4 copies. The first is what the IRS files with the clerk. And then what you're talking about on mine was actually the back of the taxpayer's copy.
All right.
On there.
That's good. That's what. All right.
Yeah. In other words, if you're looking for it on the back of the original that goes to the clerk, it's not going to be on there. It's only on the back of the taxpayer copy. But what you said is accurate because the language doesn't match up. You and I have talked about that before.
Right. And thank you for that. So what you need to do, if you have the back of yours and do you mind sharing it? If you don't mind scanning it in and getting it to me, that way your name's not on it, but that way I can compare it to what I have, and if it's the same, that'll be fine. That way we can get there. What we need to do is start running at these people with something that works instead of going after them like something else, like we have in the past. Because see, we can challenge jurisdiction. Here's what it says, and the front doesn't match the back, so something's counterfeit here. See?
Right.
Something's not right. Something's not doing it right.
It's actually split. It's 2 columns, one left, one right. The left is English, the right is Spanish.
You are correct. But the wording on the back of it is different than, in other words, it's telling you what's on the front, but what they're telling you is on the front's not on the front.
Right. It's like Ford Chevy.
That's right. Yeah, they're saying take your Chevy and go to town, but you get in, there's a Ford in your driveway. So you're right. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like you always say, Toyota or Lexus, you know. In other words, lien is not the same as notice of federal tax lien.
And it says so, right? You see, there's one of the clues that we're having. And so, you know, man, I appreciate you helping me with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, also, one other point. When it says notice of federal tax lien, it's always capitalized, first letter of each word. When it says lien or federal lien, it's never capitalized.
See, that's on the back of that thing.
Yes.
See, so what I'm saying is, for those of you that can help us, if you get that and you see something, help us out. We're not, me and Ed, we're just 2 guys that are trying our best to do something to help give you an argument that's winnable. And thank you. I think I recognize your voice.
Yes, sir. You've helped me. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. And thank you for adding that because that helped a lot.
Next.
I have a question.
So what? I don't care. We're out of questions tonight.
Oh, okay. This is Wayne.
Go ahead. I'm kidding.
This is Wayne from California.
Yes.
Okay, so I received your email, and I did send out my first letter requesting the information that the lack of jurisdiction. And listening to your call today, I will send out multiple of them. But in the email, it says the only thing you fill out this petition, Form 2, made out. That's what I sent out. And then it says sign and mail pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't see those anywhere.
Okay, go back on the court. Web page. Go to forms, and you'll see it. It's form 2, 4, 5.
Okay, so I go to the court. So I go to the so that would be the California court?
No, you're talking about taxes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you talking about federal income taxes?
I'm sorry, I have both. That would be the IRS. So I want to go to irs.gov or whatever it is.
No, you want to go to the United States Tax Court website. There's a tab that says Forms. Go down until it says Forms. Open it up, and it'll say Form 2, Form 4, and Form 5. Those are the 3 forms you fill out.
Okay.
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 It's ustaxcourt.gov.
I'm there right now. Okay. Then I want to find forms. Okay. Forms. Okay, so I want to do whatever forms you're suggesting. I do those and don't mail the $60. Okay.
No, you're gonna mail it now because they changed the way they're doing business. So just go ahead and mail the $60, or don't mail it. They'll come back and say they're not going to do it until you do it, and then when you mail it, you'll get what you want.
Okay, I don't see a page. I see.
Okay,
it's petition number 2.
I didn't say
number 2.
Is it so? That is the I don't see a form number 3. I have a petition kit.
Petition.
There it is.
Petition number 2. Pages 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Petition number 2.
Okay. Gotcha. Petition number 2. Okay, so that answers my question. I will yield. Thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Next.
Terry, it's Jimmy again. Sorry I dropped off earlier.
Yeah, hold it a minute before you go. You said it. I'm going to reiterate it. You are sorry, buddy. You are sorry. Go ahead.
I should say my apologies.
Yes, go ahead.
No, it's about the Form 12277 denial. You were starting to speak and I dropped off, unfortunately.
Okay. Would you read what you have? Do you mind?
I don't have it in my possession, but it basically says your release request has been denied because it is not in the best interest of the government. And one of the titles was not followed.
Okay, see, he just made a legal determination, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have a name now. Where we've been having a problem in the past, it'll say you live in Detroit and you get a document from Guam or Hawaii. You can't get in the car and go see them. Now what you have is you have an agent's name. You're going to make the letter, Dear Agent. Thank you for your speedy time in answering my questions. Here's what you said. See exhibit, and you put it in there. Highlight what he said, and then you say, now that you've made a legal determination, I need to see your bar card, your bar license, your attorney license, whatever you want to say. Now, I'm giving you 10 days to get it to me, or release the lien, or I will see you in federal district court on the grounds you're practicing law without a license, and it affects me. Then sign it and send it back.
There you go.
See, it's not about taxes anymore, is it?
No. No, it isn't.
Now, do you think that's an argument you could win?
Absolutely.
See, now you have an argument you can win. When you go to the court on taxes with the IRS, you can't win it because they're going to say you didn't pay your fair share. Oh, darn it. See, this ain't about fair share. This is about the law. they're practicing law without a license. What about your fair share? I don't know. We ain't got to that yet. He's practicing law. See, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't. None of that matters anymore. Fair share, taxable. What's not taxable? See, it makes no difference because now they're outside of what they can do. Now, I drive a Ford F-150. I've hit a curb and busted my rim. My next-door neighbor's got a Silverado the same year, the same amount of lug nuts, and the same tires. Same size rim. Man, I'm still fighting to get that thing on there. I can't get it on. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because I got Ford jurisdiction trying to put a Chevy rim on it. See? In other words, it's not going to fit. The lug holes aren't right. That's what they're doing. When they start making legal determinations, they're trying to stick a square peg in a round hole. That's an argument we can win.
Right. Understood.
I hope that helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a few steps more ahead in wanting to go to the U.S. Court of Claims and file not a suit, but a claim against the IRS for what they've done so far in the denial. But I think I might be jumping the gun just a little quickly in doing that.
Well, the problem is you can't do it that way because if you go to the claims court on the IRS, they're going to say they're not a tax court. So you have to go with the proper argument. That's why I keep telling you. So if you go to the United States District Court and sue the IRS agent for trying to collect taxes, they're going to throw the case out because they don't have jurisdiction over the agent. But if you take the agent to the United States District Court on the grounds that they're practicing law without a license, that's a federal issue. Now you can argue that. While you're arguing that, you can come back to, oh, by the way, since he's practicing law without a license, he's taking my money without jurisdiction. See, now we can work it in there because they'll take the case. See, they won't take the case unless the argument is what they have. I want to ask you this. If there's 1 million courts in this country, what percentage of that 1 million courts is a court of limited jurisdiction? What percentage?
100.
There you go. So, you see, when you go to the court, you can't go to the claims court with the tax issue. You can't go to the tax court with the claim issue. You can't go to the traffic court with the divorce case. In other words, see? Okay, so you have to understand what you're doing and do it. That's all.
Yeah, understood. All right. Thank you, Kerry.
Did I help you in any way?
Yes, you did. You're helping clarify.
Okay, because I helped you so much, you need to send me 1,000.
I got 1,000 coffee beans on this way to you.
See how simple that is? It becomes easy once you see it. If I don't tell you what it is, I have to smile and swallow hard and think, oh, God, make it decaf, okay? You see? We're in the driver's seat. We're the powerhouse here. We're in the driver's seat. We just didn't know it.
That's right. We got our power back slowly and surely.
We're going to get it back. See, now let me ask you a question. Think about this for a minute, okay?
Yes.
When Muhammad Ali was in his prime, would you want to get in the box with him? Or do you want to get in it with my grandson, who's 2, and slug it out with him? Who would you rather be in the ring with?
Probably the grandson.
See? That's what I'm saying. See? What's happened is, in the past, we get in the ring with Muhammad Ali. Why? Because the IRS's strong suit is taxes. So we run active with taxes. See?
Right.
We can't do that. We have to be in the power seat. Now, I hope that made sense. Sometimes when I talk, I think I'm just making an idiot of myself, but I don't care. But what I'm trying to tell you is the arguments that we're trying to come up with are arguments that you can understand. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have a wife?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you did, now I want you to think about this. If you did, and you walked in the house and saw her cheating on you, would you recognize it?
Most likely, yes.
Okay, then what would she be doing?
What would she be doing?
Oh. See what you
Sleeping
said?
with another man?
See, when you said yes, that means you know what I'm talking about. So what would she be doing?
Right. And then of course, I'd have to question, what do you mean? So, yeah.
It's too late now. You already shot yourself in the foot. See?
Yeah.
See, now ask me the same question, and I'll show you how I would do it. Again, I'm not giving legal advice, but this is the mindset we have to have. Go ahead and ask me.
If you walked in on your wife and she was cheating, would you recognize it?
Man, I don't know. I don't know cheating. I know Billy, and I know Sam, and I know Mary. See? In other words, no. See, they have to define it. When they define it, I can beat them. Now, here's my next question, if you don't mind me asking, because I don't want to ask you if you don't. Okay. How much income did you make last year? You can lie to us. You can lie to us and tell us as much as you want. I don't care.
Oh, well, the first question I would ask is define what income is.
See how simple that is? Lordy. See, now, well, you know what it is. Once they say that to me, yes, I do. It's dubulators. I made 12 dubulators last year. See, once they tell me that I know, I got them.
You got them.
What I try to do, here's my goal. I try to say this. Do you remember Abbott and Costello?
Yes.
Who's on first? What's on second? When I get them doing that, I know I'm beating them. See, how do you know what I know? See how simple that is? It's really a simple process.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I appreciate the question.
Yeah, thank you. We got to keep it simple, too. That's the big thing is sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things.
Yes.
But keeping it simple, I think that's the shortest distance between 2 points.
Yes. Let me ask you this now. What state of the union do you live in?
Colorado.
In Colorado. Have you ever flown across the country?
I have.
Good. Now, that you said that you just shot yourself in the foot. Did your arms get tired? Did your arms get tired?
Very tired. Okay, I had to stop 1,000 times. Absolutely.
See what I'm saying? You can't fly.
Right.
See, again, does that make sense? See what I'm trying to do is get you to think that. Have you ever flown across the country? Nope. Never. You've never been in an airplane? I have. Now they've defined it. I can answer it. Now I've got them right where I want them. Who's on first? What's on second? See?
Yeah.
See, they always do. What they do is they'll ask you 3 or 4 questions to get your mind. That's the red herring. I call it the naked lady. They bring in the naked lady, and they'll tell you to look over there and watch her dance. Then when they ask you a question, your mind is over there, so then you answer it the way they want you to answer it.
Right,
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to stop doing. See?
Yeah. Understood.
And I appreciate calling. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. You're awesome.
No, well, I don't know about that, but I do appreciate you being on the phone. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
This is Wayne. I have another question, if that's okay.
Well, it's not okay, but we'll take it anyway.
Okay, I've been listening to your call, and you were thank you for all your information. And you were saying, well, how do I pay? In what? I'd love to pay you, but how do you want me to pay, or in what? Is that I haven't got a court date yet. I've got they're sending me a letter of deficiency. And
okay. Now, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. For a minute. You said they sent you a letter of deficiency. Tell me what a letter of deficiency is.
They are saying that I owe them money, and they've determined my tax rate. They want money.
Now, here's the problem. What did you do? Did you do a self-assessment? Did you do a 1040?
I did a 10. I was doing 1099. I didn't mail all the years. I went in and claimed 0 on
See
my.
What you did? Hey, wait a second. See, what you did was you went in there and said I had 0. You used their forms. Remember, a form is a model or a skeleton to be used in a court of law. It can be adapted to whatever. When they said to you, how much money did you make? You put 0. You now use their form that they're telling you what it is. See, what I do is now, anybody that will download a 1040 instruction booklet, I'm going to show you what I'm trying to say. See, by you doing a self-assessment, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot, and then I'm going to go to the hospital and say, my foot hurts. How'd that happen? Boy, I don't know. You know exactly what happened. You did a self-assessment. You told them you owed them X. Now they want it. That's different. See, if you don't do it, they can't do it for you. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm kind of lost.
Okay.
I have to break out my years that I didn't file for a lot of years.
Okay, those years, they're easy to deal with. But the years that you said I made $100,000 and I owe you $30,000, you told them that. See? You told them that.
No, it was a 1099 that they're saying that there's a 1099, and I rebutted. I said there was a mistake. I don't owe any. I owe 0. And they're saying. Then I got my notices of.
See what you did? How do you know you owe 0? What is that figured on?
I get what you're saying. So I had 0. I'm saying that I owe 0 of whatever they're saying. That is.
So what you have to do is, instead, I tell them nothing. I ask. Let me ask you a question. Before we go any further, has anybody downloaded the 1040 instruction booklet? Please do that while I'm talking here, because I want to go over it, and I'm going to show you something in there, what it tells you. Here's my question to you. All right? Are you married?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been married?
No.
Okay. So, you're gay, right?
No.
So you're a sick one. You're mad all the time? You're pissed off?
I'm not married, and I'm not gay.
So you're mad.
I'm a single man.
You're not happy. You're angry all the time.
That's a 50-50 question. I got a lot of free.
You're defining the stuff for me as I go. You're defining it. So all I'm doing is taking what you said. That's what they did to you.
Okay.
You told them something, and then what they did is they interpreted it. Then they interpreted it, and then see what you have to do now is you're going to have to go back, and we're going to reestablish that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. They don't ask you anything without a purpose. Let me ask you a question, okay? Do you know what a cherry picker is?
No.
So you have no idea what it is. So if I hand you one, you would know it.
That is correct.
See? Now I have to explain it. That's how you protect yourself right there. See
okay.
that? See? What you have to do is I can help you with some of that because we can go by and get some clarification. Does anybody have the 1040?
I'm at the website right now. Instructions book. I'm on the website.
Okay. I want you to go to page 110. Well,
it doesn't say pages.
Oh, there's pages. If you download it, it's there.
Well, no, it says home instructions. I just went to irs.gov instructions 1.
I've got it, Kerry.
Okay, hold on a minute. We got a guy that's got it. Would you go to page 110?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, now, does it say at the top on the left, there's 3 columns. On the left-hand column, come down where it's 6011, 6012. Do you see that?
Yeah, actually, it's on page 109, but it says our legal...
Okay, now wait a minute. Before you start, I want you to listen to this. Go ahead.
Our legal right to ask for information is Internal Revenue Code Section 6001, 6011, and 6012, paren A N paren, period, comma, and their regulations. They say that you must file a return or statement.
Stop right there. Don't go any farther. Tell me what the IRS has the ability to tell you to do.
File a return or statement.
Now, what is a return?
That could be something you send to a neighbor and have them return it to you.
See? But, all right. See, it could be a 1040, could be a 1041, could be a CT1, could be a 2291. You're exactly right. It could be the cookies I'm returning. Now, here's the key to that. The next one, or statement. You have to do one or the other. You have to do a return or statement. What is a statement?
Well, like you said before, it could be eat, shit, and die.
There it is. You're done. If you write that on say page 112 or whatever it is, copy it, highlight it, staple it, and mail it in. You're done. That's what it says. Let them come back and say, well, that ain't what we meant. So then then what I told them when I was indicted, oh, so I can't use your paper, then why'd you mail it to me? So you're telling me you used the mail to mail me something that I can't use. So you're telling me you use a mail fraud. See, I'm always on offense. And they're up there, they're throwing fits and they're screaming in their house. Your Honor, make him shut up. Okay, I just sat down. See, it says right there in the 1040 booklet, you have to file a form, a return or statement. Now, without a definition of return, I don't know what it is. So if they're going to let me do it, see, there's my end. Can I make a legal determination? No. Well, then you're going to have to define what is a return. They're going to say, well, it's a 1040. I agree. But isn't a CT1? What is it? Well, it's a return. Well, what is a 1041? Well, it's a return. What makes me think that's a 1040? I want to know. Does that make sense?
Yes. So here's my... All right, so now that... Okay, so I am here. They're saying, there's a deficiency, and you say I need to go back. I need to file this form and just start over and put the ball in their court?
I would. That's what I would do. But see, what's happening is you did a 1099, so you've already made a decision what it is that you did or didn't do. Okay. They're taking their form and they're going to adjust it because that's what it is. They're going to adjust it to get what they want. Does that make sense? So in reality, now I want you to think about this. Once you break your virginity, how do you get it back?
Well, you don't probably. You really don't.
There it is. See, that's the same thing. How do you unring the bell?
Don't ring it in the first place.
See,
all right.
You rang the bell, see? Now, I'm going to make a statement. I want you to think about this, okay? What goes up must come down. Am I correct?
That's a natural law, yes.
All right. I'm going to tell you something that goes up and never comes down. Is that possible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then tell me what it is.
Well, that would be an object going outside of our atmosphere, outside the gravitational pull of the Earth.
Okay. There's something else that can go up and never come down. Do you know what it is?
I do not.
your age.
Okay.
See,
all right.
see, I'm off the hinge. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, that's what happened. What you did is you rang the bell. Now you're asking, how do I unring the bell? I've got a couple of ideas I can help you with. Get with Ed, and if it works, we'll let you testify on the next call. Get with Ed, and he'll get you my numbers, and you can give me a call, and I'll go over a couple of ideas that I have.
How do I get with Ed? Send him an email? Okay, so Ed is the ATT brand.
There you go.
Okay, and I'll ask him.
Tell him who you are. He'll give you my information. I don't want to give it over the air.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, and then he'll get you in touch with me, and then we'll talk about it, and then I'll give you a couple ideas that I've come up with.
And what was your name? So I can just tell him. I'll reply. First name?
Carrie. My name's Carrie.
Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. With that, I'll yield.
Thank you.
Hello, Carrie. You got 1 minute.
Okay, we got 1 minute. So,
hey, Carrie?
Yes.
I've got a question while you're on the income question. On this page 109 in the handbook, are people using that, what you suggested, by just tearing this out and sending a statement in?
Well, I'd printed it out, highlight it, and say, eat shit and die. Put it in there and say, my statement is, and send it to them. Let them come back and say that we don't take that. Now, they've cooked, okay, no problem.
But it doesn't say written statement, does it?
No, it doesn't. See?
So you could just make a statement in your house, and there you go.
There you go. See? What I'm trying to tell you, see how you're thinking outside the box now? You're doing what
Yeah, I've been talking to you for a while.
Yeah, but see, what I'm trying to tell you is do what they say. Do what the law says. Then they're going to say, well, you can't use our 1040. You can't use that booklet. Oh, so then you're printing stuff to mislead us. That is vague. Well, now, that is frivolous. Well, you clarify it. See, now, if they're not going to take it, you clarify it, or I'll see in court. If you sue them in the in federal district court on the grounds they're misleading and using frivolous statements. See, that's an argument. You may not win it, but you could win it. Why? Because it's not about taxes. It's about their documents they gave you, they told you to use. Now they're telling you, well, you really can't use them. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but don't they have a statement somewhere where they said you can't rely on our documents and instruction manuals?
Okay, that's first. What is a 1040? It's a document. It's theirs. I can't rely on it, so I can't do it.
Right. No. I think it said publications and instructions or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
What is a 1040 form?
U.S. individual income tax return.
No, it's a publication. They had to publish it.
That's true.
See?
So on page 109, it says they say that you must file a return or statement with us for any tax you are liable for.
Wow.
So you could say in your statement that I'm not liable for any tax, right?
See? There you go. That's the best one yet. I'm sending this to you because here it is, highlighted. I'm not liable for any tax.
And here's your statement.
See? Now it feels good to think outside the box, don't it?
Right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Hey, Carrie, I got a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
I was wondering, a month or two ago, you made comment about the 21st, you were supposed to get an answer from the DOJ. They were asking for more time. Did you hear anything yet?
They asked the judge to dismiss it on the grounds the claims court doesn't have jurisdiction on a claim.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you hear what I said?
I lost you just a little bit. I was going to go ahead and say it again.
it says they want to dismiss it because the claims court doesn't have jurisdiction on a claim.
So decode that for us.
Okay. I drive an F-150. I don't have jurisdiction to put an F-150 rim on my F-150. I have an F-150. I can't put the hood of an F-150 on my F-150. Duh. The reason they're a claims court because they have jurisdiction on claims. They don't have jurisdiction on taxes, painting my house, or roofing, or divorce. So we got one more this week, and what it basically said was they want the judge to dismiss it on the grounds the attorney has 1,100 more this week, and they don't have enough people to answer them all. So would the judge dismiss it on the grounds they don't have time and don't have enough people to answer it? So,
wow.
So what we did is we went in there and we said, by the very nature of the name of this court, claims court, that's the only thing they have jurisdiction on, and we answered it. And the other one said, we told them basically, since you have so many, we're going to get a group of people, we're going to get 2,500 people to go rob a bank because that's okay because you don't have enough people to stop it.
Wow. Well, thank you for the update.
No, my pleasure. But see, what's happening is they're frustrated because they don't know how to answer. See, when you go to them and you say, well, I don't have to pay taxes. Well, why? Well, because I'm not a federal employee. Now, I'm going to make one quick statement. The guy that was just talking to me, does a federal employee have to file a 1040 return?
I would say yes.
Okay, tell me why you said yes.
Good stuff. Because he works for the government.
Okay, what is a 1040 form? Isn't it an income tax return?
Okay, you're right.
And
income is not defined.
Okay, so what are they going to pay it on? Bananas? Grapes? Cabbage?
Right.
See, that would be my argument. If it's not defined for me, where is it defined for them? Oh, they just know. Really? See, that's
exactly. I see.
See, that's the arguing they're used to. See?
All right. Thank you, Kerry.
My pleasure.
Okay, folks, our next call is going to be the 25th. And we thank all of you for calling in tonight.
Yep. Thank you for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Kerry and Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry.